So when you're making the assessment of feeling behind, of almost feeling like you're not exactly where you need to be, are you truly understanding the reference point that you are using? Okay, we have physical capacities, we have mental capacities, we have emotional capacities, we have spiritual capacities. Whether I trained to be an athlete today, my 5-foot self would never be Usain Bolt. Because I have to accept the reality that my body and his body are different. The nutrition, the exercise, my bodily sensations, my actual, the hormones that my body produces, completely different. Mental dimensions, the cognitive space, the way that you process information. Maybe you're an individual watching this video and you are neurodivergent. So why are you assessing yourself comparatively to someone who is neurotypical? Your thoughts, your way of processing, your learning style, your cognitive space, your ability to solve problems and make decisions will look completely different. Spiritual capacities. You know, our spiritual dimension enables us to connect to something beyond ourselves. And depending on the faith that you have and your sense of spirituality, there are certain complexities in life that you will be able to face that other people won't be able to face, just because of your own spiritual capacity and resilience and sense of purpose and your ability to make meaning of situations that you go through. One verse that I absolutely love in the Bible, it refers to the fact that consider it all joy, my brothers and sisters, when you experience various trials, when you face trials of many kinds. Why is that? Because you know that the testing of your faith produces endurance. So that means when I'm in a given season of life, there is something that I am holding on to that someone else will not be holding on to. A trial can come somebody's way. An upsetting thing can come somebody's way, and that can completely knock them out. But because I'm anchored and tethered to my faith system, I have something to hold on to that they may not. It's the same with trauma and like I was saying, emotional capacities. We can both watch the same event. We can both watch and experience the same traumatic event, but have very different responses. Why is that? Because we have different capacities. So I question that statement. That's the statement that, oh, you just don't want it bad enough. Really? We are made up of different dimensions. One person might excel in the area of mental resilience. Another may excel in the area of empathy and creativity. Our strengths are in different areas, which is exactly how they're meant to be. So when you're comparing yourself, what are you comparing yourself to? Is it the former you? Is it a version of you that has now expired because you have made intentional steps to evolve and grow and become better? Or are you comparing apples and pears? Are you comparing apples and mangoes? Think of it this way. Trying to achieve something without taking your holistic self into account is like expecting a fish to climb a tree. Instead of comparing, instead of thinking you're not doing enough, especially when you know that you are, okay? So there are individuals whereby you have a fixed mindset, you don't have a growth mindset, you're not willing to do what it takes. Well, this is not a video for you, okay? This is not a video for you. You're unwilling to do what it takes within your own remit of control. You want. This video is not for you, okay? I'm talking about the individual who is making intentional steps, who has compassion and grace on their journey, is being consistent with themselves, and is honoring the desires and the goals and the dreams that they have. I urge you to do is to embrace your unique gifts. Is to embrace the resources that you have been given with and to maximize what you already have in your hand. What if you're not behind? You're actually where you need to be, but you're not maximizing and optimizing what you have already. You're waiting for an increase to drop and fall into your hands, but you're not maximizing and increasing what you have in your hand already. A story of the parable of the talents. The master comes down and he asks 3 gentlemen. He gave them each different amounts. 1, 5. Another 3. Another 1. And he said he wanted a return on his investment. So he makes it clear that this money that I'm giving you guys, I want a return on my investment. One goes, he takes his 5 and he multiplies it and he gets 10. One is given 3 talents, he multiplies it and gets 6. One is given 1 and buries it in the ground. He comes back and he seeks to find out what his workers have been doing with his money. One with 5 says, well, I have got you 10. And he refers to him as faithful. The one with 3 said, well, I put your money to work and I've got 6 now. I've doubled what you've given me. Wow. Then the one with 1 was like, I was so afraid that because I knew how much you wanted a return on this investment, that I didn't want to even take any risks. That's not what he said, I'm just adding. I didn't want to take any risks. I wanted to preserve what you had given me. It wasn't about who got more or less. It was about what they did with what they were given. What you're giving is not a measure of your worth. Because I always reflect on that story and I'm thinking, why are some people in this world, they came into this world with money, they came into this world with luxury, they came into this world with abundance, and I have to tussle and toil. That's not my business. God has given each and every single one of us different capacities for a specific reason. What my business is to use my strengths, to be empowered to use what I have. So that I can be among the faithful and be among the fruitful and be among the abundant. So don't beat yourself up. Identify your unique strengths. Identify your unique strengths. Instead of comparing, take time to notice your own strengths. Take time to notice what you're gifted in. What do I naturally just bring to the table? I spent so much of my 20s almost kind of like trying to find this extra thing that was so hard that I was so good at. Meanwhile, the very thing that I do with ease, I took for granted. The fact that I was such a good listener, the fact that I had an empathetic heart, the fact that I was very compassionate, I took for granted. Until I started to notice, wait, people are always coming to me for information, for insight, for wisdom, for counsel, for advice, for mentorship. And I sat down and reflected that this is a unique gift that I have. It's time to invest in it. It's not that you don't want it bad enough. It's that you're neglecting the things that you already possess. You're taking for granted the gifts and the talents and the unique giftings that you already have? Well, how do I uncover my unique gift? What do you do with ease without thinking about it that can serve another human being? The way that you are so able and capable of planning and creating itineraries. You're a strategist. Lean into that. The way you're able to see a room and have a vision for all the different ways that it can look. You are a visionary. Lean into it. The way that you can light up a room with joy and creativity and behind, and almost feeling like you're lost. Like, I can't quite figure out my way. I can't quite figure out where I'm going. You're actually, a lot of the times, you're in a very good space. It offers you room to contemplate on what your actual desires are. Something isn't quite aligned. And is that lack of alignment due to the fact that I'm not doing the right thing in this season? It could be that. And so my values or where I'm putting my energy do not align with where I feel like I need to be. And so I need to find my way back to where I'm meant to go. Fantastic. Or is it that the framework that you are using, whether that be societal expectations, the expectations that you're placing on yourself, are unfair and unreasonable? But you want to hold yourself hostage to something to prove to yourself that you are great. Meanwhile, all you're doing is holding yourself back. We are finite human beings. We have limitations. And sometimes on the journey of going to where God has called us to be, going on the journey of trying to pursue the best version of yourself, you have to bear in mind your own limitations. It's about understanding the strengths and understanding your limitations. Because even if you wanted it bad enough, the reference point that you're using, you will never be on the same level as that person. And it's a thing that you want badly even for you. Sometimes we have to cross-check our own desires. The very thing that you so desperately long for and desire for, is it for you? If it was to come into your hands, will it be a blessing or will it be a curse? In this particular season, everything that we want has pros and has cons. You have to choose your heart. You have to choose your heart. So, I want you to understand that there are so many variables involved in actioning the life that you so long for. Some that are within your control and some that are completely out of your control. And we have to remember that success isn't about fitting into a specific kind of mold. It's about discovering and thriving in your own strengths, as well as realizing your unique glory and the limitations that come just by being you. So be kinder to yourself. Be more compassionate with yourself. Offer yourself more grace. And if this message resonates with you, hit the subscribe button to join us as we uncover more about living authentically and embracing who we're truly meant to be. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.